What is up, everybody? I'm back with another video. I'm in my store because we're gonna do Comics 101. So I've gotten a few DMs and comments, mostly on TikTok, of people asking, hey, I'm new to comics, I don't know where to start, like, what do I read? I don't know how to get into it, it's too hard. And just things similar to that. And I'm not an expert by any means at all. I've learned a lot here at my job, and also just experiencing and learning for myself and learning from other people in my mutuals that I've met along the way. They've definitely taught me a lot about specific runs and things that are more popular. But I also form my own opinion, so I feel like at this point my knowledge base on this is not expert, but it's enough to get you started, and it's probably a little bit more relatable than somebody who's been in this industry and knows every single back issue and every single term to ever exist, you know? Okay, I'm just gonna kind of go around the store and show you examples of different things, like what certain things are called. We're gonna go over terminology, we're gonna go over significant runs, how to start getting into things, certain characters, what to look for, free or more affordable ways to read comics if you don't have the budget, because this hobby is really expensive. And first and foremost, I just want to say, oh my god, thank you for over 800 subscribers. So I posted that first video 3 days ago, 4 days ago, 3 days ago. Yeah, that's not when I started my channel, but it's when I actually started posting. So I'm just gonna say it's when I started my channel because it's the first post. No, I had 1 subscriber before I posted that first video, and then I had about 20 the first day, and since then I've gained 800 subscribers. 800 of you, that's insane. And granted, I have 1.5k on TikTok right now, so I'm assuming a good amount of you are from TikTok, which doesn't make it any less special or significant. Thank you for coming and showing support. Nonetheless, a lot more people than I thought were actually just from YouTube, or came from recommended videos, or they were watching one of my mutuals or something and I got recommended because of the content that I make. So I'm really surprised about the reach that I've had on the actual app of YouTube, but I'm really grateful for it. So that's all I wanted to say. Let's get into this. All right, so first things first, things like this. So it's gonna be about 24 to 30 something, sometimes if it's long pages. They're really thin ones. These are called single issues. New comics for ongoing runs come out every Wednesday. Well, not every Wednesday, but they come out on Wednesdays. Sometimes if you look up certain things that you want to follow, you can see which Wednesday they're coming out, but it's always going to be on a Wednesday that you'll have new things. For example, we're sold out of everything, honestly. These were all new last Wednesday, and we're going to be doing restock tomorrow. These that are generally on this wall are called current runs. And then you have, essentially, this is our indie section. So indie's gonna be based on the publisher. So Image Comics, Dark Horse, Skybound, Boom, IDW, things like that are gonna be indie. This is a DC section, so you probably know a little bit about DC, or at least the heroes from DC. So Detective Comics, that's also a publishing company. They have their own section. And then we've got our Marvel section, so that's the other main distributor. So if you look over here, these are the dollar comics, also known as back issues. So back issues are single issues that are either completed runs, they're no longer ongoing. Most of the time you'll find a little bit of older things in here, and it's really just purged items that either didn't get sold on the shelf when they were new, or we collected somebody's trade-ins, or we bought wholesale some comics to put in here. These are normally a good % of our margin in comic stores just because they're so cheap and it's very wide in terms of variety. These are also single issues. These are the 25-cent bins. A lot of your comic stores will have these. They're generally a lot older, so you'll see things like this. Obviously not great condition. There's really no rips and tears or anything, but the pages are yellowing and it's just old and it hasn't been preserved very well, so normally people don't feel comfortable or successful in selling them for over 25 cents. You can find a lot of things back here. Then last thing, because single issues are just a lot, we have our variants. So there will be one specific issue, and they'll oftentimes have like maybe 3 to 4 covers. So it'll be the same exact book, but like there's cover A, cover B, cover C, and that's generally just 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's cover A is the main cover that comes out when it's first released. And then cover B, C, D, all of those things are called variants or other covers. And that's just when they have like a different artist hop on to illustrate just the cover for them, not the art inside the book. But people collect all different kinds of covers. Some people only collect a cover. Some people collect every single cover that comes out for a specific run. It generally just depends on what you want. But we do have a couple, like if you see something that says 1 in 50, 1 in 25, something like that, it means that they're more rare to find. So like there's only a certain amount of them were printed and were available, and that's why they're generally priced more than back issues or currents will be. It just depends on their value and like the market for them. But me personally, I don't buy things because I think they'll sell well in the future. I don't buy things to sell them. As far as comics, I just buy them because I want them, because I want to read them, because the market for this industry is extremely unpredictable, and it's not really a good way to make money. If you're looking to start getting into comics for their resale value, this probably wouldn't be the video for you, or honestly the channel, but you're welcome to watch anyways. We also do have a couple of these. These are also variants, but they're called foil variants because they do this little like light refraction thing. Yeah, we just call them shiny covers, but they're actually called foil variants. And then there will be blank covers. So these, oftentimes artists or just people who need something to do will buy these and make their own art on them, or they'll buy them and then take them to Comic-Con or some convention to have an artist commissioned to do their art and sign it. Alright, down here, for example, this is in our trading section, so they're discounted, but this is manga. Manga is obviously like an Asian style of media, and it's a hit or miss with people. Some people love manga, some people it's not their jam, but I would give it a shot. I wouldn't hate on it until you've read like something. I haven't gotten into any manga, but that's just because I generally don't have time, and if I do read manga in the future, I'm definitely gonna have to look into some of those horror ones because they look really cool. Alright, so over here we have what you would call a trade paperback. So basically trade paperbacks are a cluster of about 6, sometimes 7, but mostly 6 of those single issues I just showed you, all combined into one. They come out after the single issues have already been released, and it's basically just a more convenient way of getting them when you can't find all of the issues or just aren't a single issue person. They're pretty convenient, and I really like trades. Another part of the trade that I want to show you guys, because this is my #1 recommendation, not the story specifically, even though it's a really good story, are DC compacts. So you'll see these smaller, kind of bulky DC things that say DC compacts on them. These are my #1 recommendations for beginners because they're full, complete stories, so not like 6 issues, it's the entire story, and they're only $10. They're super affordable, and you don't need to know anything prior about the character to read a full story like this. Alright, let me just kind of, as you can see, they have tons of DC compacts. So they've got Batgirl, they've got Batman and Superman, Kingdom Come, Static, Wonder Woman, Catwoman. So honestly, almost all of the DC characters that you can think of either have a compact, heroes-wise. The main ones have a compact or are going to be getting a compact in the future. It's generally just like based on their popularity. So the 2026 lineup is going to have Nightwing compact, a Red Hood compact, Flash, I'm pretty sure, Green Arrow. There's going to be a bunch more, so make sure to look out for those because those are my #1 recs for beginners. I love DC compacts. This is what you would call a compendium. So, for example, these are trade paperbacks, but not paperbacks because they're hardcover. But it's the same format, essentially, just hardcover and more expensive. The compendium is going to be this big paperback here. If you can see on the back, it's got Nightwing issues 1 through 4, then Nightwing volume 2, 1 through 25. It's got a bunch of different titles in there, and it's just a collection of Nightwing. Oftentimes compendiums have around, for example, The Walking Dead. If you've ever read The Walking Dead compendiums have around 20 volumes in each, which means 20 trades, which in each trade is about 6 single issues. So if you do the math, it's a lot of single issues. After the single issues come out, after the trades come out, and then when they can finally make that full collection, they do. It's a kind of a lot cheaper than just collecting every single issue at retail, but it also means you have to play the waiting game, and that's kind of annoying. But I do love compendiums. I just love the thickness of them. Not that portable or convenient or storage friendly, but if you have a shelf, they're great. Okay, now these big guys down here are going to be your omnibuses. So some people think that compendiums and omnibuses are the same thing. And while they kind of are, it's the same thing as how there's trade paperbacks and then hardcovers. So omnibuses are going to be hardcover compendium style, so the same amount of story in there. But they're hardcover, they're generally a lot nicer, they're a lot more expensive, and omnibuses come out with really predominant stories. Alright, now for my recommendations. I'm going to give you 1 rec for DC, 1 for Marvel, and then 1 for indie. Okay, so my recommendation for indie, actually I'm going to give you 2, because one of them I have read and the other one I haven't, but I've seen the show, and I know it's bad because I should have read it, but the show's beautiful, and so it's going to be Invincible, Compendium 1. They have these in the trades as well, super expensive, so there's 3 Invincible compendiums, and then there's the Invincible universe, and then if you want to read something ongoing from the Invincible universe, it's going to be Battle Beast. That's a current ongoing. I think there's about 3 issues out right now. I'm loving it. It's really good. And yeah, and then we'll get you another. Alright, my other one's going to be The Walking Dead. Compendium 1 changed my life. Honestly, is what brought me back into comics mainly. I've always liked comics. I've collected them, but mainly just for the covers and because they looked cool. And because I like superheroes. I've always loved the MCU and the movies and all that, but I didn't really get seriously into comics until I read The Walking Dead. Absolutely beautiful. Way different than the show, but Kirkman is an amazing writer. He's also got Void Rivals out. He's got a couple of other things out right now that are really good, and I think I would recommend that. My recommendation for DC is gonna have to be Deceased. So there's a trade paperback of this. That's what I would recommend, but this is the hardcover. Deceased is honestly such an incredible story. Okay, hold on. There are tie-offs, so Dead Planet, War of the Undead Gods, Hope at World's End. I think there's Unkillables, but the Deceased compact is what I would recommend. If you are not into horror at all and you can't stand it, then don't read it, but it's basically what it sounds like. I won't get too into it because I feel like you could just look that up, or I can do reviews on certain things. If you want that, you can comment down below. I'm trying not to waste all my content, but I recommend Deceased. For Marvel, my recommendation is gonna have to be Jonathan Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man. It's absolutely incredible. Hickman did an amazing job on this. It's not finished yet, but it is coming to an end on issue 24, sadly. You might still be able to find all the singles. I highly doubt it, and honestly, the first single, issue 1, cover A, is incredibly expensive right now just because it got so popular, and that's what I'm saying about the whole market being kind of unpredictable. But if you want the trade, there are 2 trades out, and then we can resume from, I think, 14 and up. I think the last one that came out was 19, so 14 and 19. Haven't made a trade for that yet, but you could probably more easily find those in singles if you can't wait. But yeah, this is absolutely incredible, and the Ultimates are a very good starting point if you're trying to get into Marvel, because they're completely different universes, and the Absolutes are the DC version of that. I'm gonna come over here and show you some of the Absolute titles they have out right now. So we've got Absolute Batman, Absolute Flash, Absolute Green Lantern, Absolute Martian Manhunter, Absolute Superman. Absolute Wonder Woman is absolutely incredible. That would be my number 2 recommendation for DC right now, actually. Wonder Woman is incredible. Absolute Wonder Woman is phenomenal. Thompson is doing such a great job on this. The art in it is really cool. These are some variant covers, so like you can see down here that is issue 6, cover F. Yeah. Absolutely, just so good. They even have a black and white version, which is really cool. Okay, I'm gonna sit here and talk to you guys. Oh my god, I have to take that back up. So, if you're looking for more like free and affordable things, if you're looking for free, I would recommend going to your local library. They have comics there. I didn't know that until a little bit ago. At least I didn't know like the selection that they have, and it's a lot more than I feel like it was when I was a kid, but I could be wrong. But support your local library, and if you're interested in digital and like a more broad, I guess, range of things that you can read, you can download Hoopla. I'll put it up here. It's free. You just have to have a library card, and then you sign in with that, and then you check out books online. You download them to your phone and then read them. You have about like 21 days, and then they go back. But if you want them or you're not done with it, you can just recheck it out. There's not like a limited stock because it's online, so you can essentially just read it forever, and then you just delete it when you're done and return it. Hoopla's a really great app. If you're not looking for free but you're looking for more accessible and a little bit more affordable, I would recommend Marvel Unlimited and DC Infinite. So they're the digital versions of like the entire Marvel and DC catalog. Like, I'm talking the entire catalog. The only thing is that with Marvel Unlimited, you can buy the annual plans for both of these. They're a little expensive, but not really if you look at like how much they actually are per month. Marvel Unlimited, the shelf to app time is about 3 months, and DC Infinite is only 1 month. But if you're like a stickler about I need to read this right now, you might just have to get the actual issues as they come out. But if you're not, and you can just read things and kind of occupy yourself until they come out on the app, then I would recommend those. I have them both. I love them. It's not sponsored yet by them, but I would totally recommend those. And then as far as like where to start or where to get into, nobody can tell you where to start, where to get into, really. Like, there's a lot of people in this community that are really welcoming and supportive, and like that's great, and I try to be like one of those people. But there's also a lot of people who have their very strong opinions about what they do and don't like. And if you like those things, or if you want to get into those things, just do it. Don't let anybody tell you like this is absolute trash, don't get into it. Like, learn for yourself. If you think it's absolute trash when you're done reading it, then that's maybe you wasted your time, but that is a life experience gained, because you won't know what you like until you read it. And it's not very fun to like everything everybody else is reading, especially if they have really different tastes than you. And it's okay to not like superhero stuff like DC, Marvel, or even Invincible, even though that's not DC, Marvel. You can like manga, you can like horror, like Walking Dead, you can like, there's so many other things like sci-fi, romance, there's so many genres, and there's something for everybody in comics, I guarantee you. And if you are looking on where to start, just find your favorite character, look up like online, like the timeline for it, and it'll help you. Like, it'll just tell you which ones to read first, which ones are in chronological order, which ones are like more easy to comprehend. Or you could watch people online like me. Like, I watch this guy, Comic Storian. He is and was really beloved in the comic community because he did like full breakdowns, like 3 hours of just comics, and would like show you panels and just kind of explain the backstory of things so that you don't have to read them yourself, but it's a good like listening thing to throw on in the back if you just want to learn more about it. And yeah, don't let anybody tell you what to read. Just read whatever you want. Find a character that you like, start with that, and then yeah, I guarantee you whatever you're looking for in comics, you'll find it. Just do your research. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. I hope this video helped a little. Let me know if you want to see any like reviews or anything, or you have any like other things that you want me to do for video recs, and I will take them into consideration. Alright, thanks guys.